Today in the World Series Curse, we will be reading Chapter 5, A Muddy Mess. Clippity, 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 clippity. A strange sound echoed down the hallway under Wrigley Field. Mike and Kate were crouched behind a big gray laundry cart. Mike peeked over the top of it. "What's that?" he asked. Kate glanced around the side of the cart. The hallway was empty except for a security guard. "Shh! Someone's coming," she said. "Maybe it's Mrs. Sanders and the goat." It was the afternoon of Game 6 of the World Series. Mike and Kate had arrived early at Wrigley Field, the Chicago Cubs ballpark. While Mrs. Hopkins was up in the press room, they were hiding in the hallway outside the Cubs clubhouse to spy on Miss Sanders. Clippity, 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 clippity. "It's her and the goat," Mike whispered. The sounds drew closer. Mike and Kate could hear voices. A moment later, a group of Chicago Cubs players came into view. Mike rolled his eyes. "That wasn't the goat. It was only the players' cleats," he said once they had entered the clubhouse. "Maybe this wasn't a good idea." Kate nodded. "Let's just stay a little longer," she said. "Then we can go visit Louie before the game." They watched the hallway for the next 15 minutes. A few players came and went, along with some trainers and a woman who looked like a reporter. They were about to give up and head into the clubhouse themselves when they heard another funny sound coming from the hallway. Clippity-clop, clippity-clop, clippity-clop. They crouched behind the cart and tilted their heads to hear better. Miss Sanders led Billy through the clubhouse door. Kate jumped up. "Follow her," she said. Mike and Kate ran over and opened the door and popped inside. The room was humming with activity. Cubs players were getting ready for the game. Louie Lopez stood near his locker on the other side of the room. He was talking to Miss Sanders when Louie spotted Mike and Kate, he waved at them. The goat bleated and clopped around as Mike and Kate walked over. "Hi, Mike and Kate," Louie called out. "Just who I wanted to see." "What's up, Louie?" Mike asked. Louie was rubbing his hands together. He kept shifting his weight from one foot to the other and looking around. "It's great to be back in Chicago for these last 2 games," he said, but I'm worried that someone is still trying to make the Cubs lose. We need some good luck in the clubhouse." Kate petted Billy's head. "So that's why Billy and Miss Sanders are here," she said. Louie nodded. "Yep," he said. "I had Miss Sanders bring Billy down so all the players can rub his back on their way out to the field for good luck." Mike and Kate smiled and nodded. "Sounds like a plan, Louie," Kate said. "Maybe it will bring the Cubs luck." Mike nudged Kate and looked at Miss Sanders. "Yeah, bad luck," he whispered. Louie smiled. "How about I show you around?" "Sure," Mike said, but then he noticed a clubhouse attendant sitting in the corner. He had a stack of new baseballs in a white tub filled with brown goop. The attendant opened the first box of balls. "Is he using baseball rubbing mud?" Mike asked. "I've always wanted to see it." "Yep," Louie said. "Most people don't know about baseball mud. It's called Lena Blackburn rubbing mud. It comes from a secret place in New Jersey. It makes the balls easier for the pitchers to grip and easier for the batters to see. We have to put it on 80 new baseballs each game." Mike, Kate, and Louie walked over to watch. Miss Sanders and the goat followed. The clubhouse attendant dipped a few fingers in the tub and covered the new balls with a thin layer of brown mud. He had muddied up about 5 balls when he stopped and looked at his hands. He raised his eyebrows and lifted his fingers up to his face. Then he sniffed them. "Phew," he said. "Yuck, something's wrong with the rubbing mud." The attendant jumped up and ran to the sink. He rubbed his hands quickly under the water. Louis looked closely at the tub of mud. He sniffed it, let out a gasp, and backed away. "Whoa," he said. "There's definitely something wrong with that mud." Miss Sanders walked over and picked up the tub of mud. She looked at the brown goop inside and took a sniff. Her nose wrinkled. "That's not baseball rubbing mud," Miss Sanders said. "That's goat poop."